Hello, welcome to Yoga with Rach. I'm Rach, thank you very much for joining me. We're on week 2 of our Libra sequence and we're going into some soft and strong practices. So let's get started straight away, moving into tabletop. So placing the knees on the mat underneath the hips, hands on the mat underneath the shoulders, spreading the fingertips nice and wide so you're pushing into the palms, the back of the knuckles, the fingertips. Inhaling to lift the chin, lift the tailbone, let the belly relax. And exhale, rounding through the spine, tucking the chin and the tailbone under. Stay with your breath as you inhale, lift the chin, lift the tailbone. As you exhale, round through the spine, tucking the chin and the tailbone under. A few more rounds. Inhale, lift the chin and the tailbone. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Twice more as you inhale, lift the chin, lift the tailbone. As you exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin and tailbone under. Last one, inhale to lift. And exhale, rounding. Finding your way into your flat back tabletop. Make sure you've got a bit of room in front of you. So you're going to walk the hands forward, bringing the forearms and the elbows down onto the mat, making sure the elbows are underneath the shoulders, tucking under the toes to lift the knees. And finding your way into your forearm plank. So we were finding a little bit of softness and fluidity in our cat cows, and now we're going to bring in that strength for our plank pose. Whenever you're ready, lowering the knees, the thighs, the hips, the belly, untucking the toes, you're on the top of the feet, you might wiggle or slide the hands forward a little bit, gently lifting the chin, looking forwards for Sphinx pose. Just focusing on the breath. Gently releasing, bringing one hand on top of the other, elbows out to the sides. Let the forehead rest on top of the hands. Let the arms, the neck, the shoulders relax. Gently lifting your head up off the mat, slide or extend, reaching the hands down by your side. And you're going to rest your forehead down onto your mat. So we're going to have a go with practicing our Locust Pose. And we're trying to find where it feels comfortable to hold the pose. So it's not about how high you can lift up. It's all about finding that place of comfort. So starting with your forehead on the mat. And gently lifting your forehead up. So you're really not very far from the ground. You're looking down at the mat. Gently lifting the hands off the mat, pointing the fingertips back, make sure the hands are relaxed. Gently starting to lift the legs up, keeping the feet relaxed. Keeping the legs straight, so you're not bending into the knees. Just pausing here, so we're constantly checking on the lower back. That's where you feel comfortable, stay here. If you feel any discomfort, lower down. Or you might start to lift up a tiny bit higher. Think about rolling the shoulders away from the ears, almost as though someone's gently pulling the arms back. And you can release, moving back down, and bringing the hands on top of each other, forehead on top of the hands when you're ready to pause, and lifting back up when you're ready, or have a go lifting up a little bit higher, all the while being mindful of your back. So it's not about forcing yourself to lift up too high. You might start to lift up a bit higher, so you start to lift the chin, so you're looking beyond your mat now. Focusing on the breath, gently engaging the glutes. And gently releasing down when you're ready, one hand on top of the other, forehead resting on the hands. Bringing the hands on the mat underneath the shoulders, tucking into the toes, gently lift your body up, draw the body back as you untuck the toes, knees can get a bit wider. As you bring the tailbone to the heels, resting your forehead on the mat, arms can extend in front of you, or hands resting down by the feet into child's pose for a few breaths. Gently lifting up into tabletop. Bring the fingertips nice and wide, tucking under the toes, lifting back and up into downward dog. Really keeping the knees bent. So we're drawing the shoulders back, lifting the tailbone high. So we're getting that focus of release into the lower back. And this is the area that Libra rules over. So if you do have any lower back issues, really be aware of bending into the knees. So we don't have to push the heels to the mat, they can stay nice and lifted. Gently looking through to the feet. Focusing on the breath. Whenever you're ready, you can lower down into tabletop, and from there finding a way into child's pose. You might still be here just for a few more breaths. And lowering down tabletop, take the knees wide, untucking the toes. Have a little pause in your child's pose. When you're ready, slowly lifting up through tabletop into your downward facing dog. And take your time as you either walk or step, or if it feels okay to hop into your standing forward fold. Just letting the arms relax. And rolling up to standing. So I'm going to stand at the other end of my mat so I can face you. We're going to stand at the top of our mats, taking the feet to about hip width apart, stepping your left foot to the back of the mat, turning the left toes out, so you're turning the left shoulder and the left hip to the back of the mat, taking the feet nice and wide, bend the right knee over the right ankle, extending the right arm forward, left arm back, and looking over the right arm for your warrior two. So we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. We're going to be moving our left arm with the breath. So depending on how much room you have, if you've got room, reach the arm in front of you. If you haven't got much room, you can raise the arm up and over your head. So you're going to inhale, bringing your left hand by your right hand. As you exhale, pull the left elbow back and extend the hand back. Inhaling, bringing the left hand all the way around. Next to the right, keeping the arm straight, so you're moving from the shoulder. Exhale, pull the elbow back and extend the arm back. Do that 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. And into warrior two. From here, lower the arms down. We're going to adjust the toes. So the toes are pointing out to the corners of the mat. Bend into the knees and sitting the hips down for high squat or goddess pose. You're going to extend and reach the arms out. Bend the elbows, palms are facing forward, fingertips pointing up. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, bring the elbows back down. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms back down. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, bring the arms down. Straighten the legs. Turn the toes in, pushing the heels out so the feet are parallel to the edges of the mat. Hands on the hips, slowly releasing into a wide forward fold. And you've got lots of variations here, so you can stay with the back nice and flat, just the fingertips on the mat. Bend the knees if you need to, if the hamstrings are tight. If it feels comfortable, hold onto the elbows. See if you can release down a little bit more, finding a bit more length into the spine. If it feels comfortable, not just accessible, then you might start to take the feet a little bit wider, hinging at the hips and bringing the crown of the head down onto the mat. If it feels comfortable to stay there. So don't force yourself, you might check in, but you might find that actually ragdoll pose feels so much nicer whilst you're here. And just enjoying a few more breaths before we come up to standing and change sides. So if you're holding onto the elbows, gently releasing. If your forehead's on the mat, gently pushing through the hands to lift up, really pushing into the feet. Find that strength in your foundation. You might heel toe the feet in a bit before we step the left foot to the top of the mat. But I'm going to go to the other side so I can still see you. So we're at the top of the mat, feet are hip width apart. You might be at the back of the mat so you can still see the screen, unless you're just listening along with me. And stepping your right foot back. Turn the right toes out to the long side of your mat, so you're opening the hips and that shoulder into your warrior two, taking the left knee over the ankle, opening the arms out, left arm forward this time, right hand back, looking over that left hand. So we're going to do 5 breaths working with that right arm. Remember, if you've got room, you can go out to the side. If you haven't, you can lift up and over instead. So you're going to inhale, bring that right arm Next to the left, exhale, pull the elbow back and extend the arms out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Twice more. Last one. From there, lower the arms down. We're going to turn the feet around so the toes are pointing to the corners of the mat. Bend into the knees, sit the hips down, keeping the shoulders over the hips. Open the arms nice and wide as we find our high squat or goddess pose. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands and the arms down. Twice more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Nice. Opening the arms up. Let's straighten the legs, turn the toes, hands on the hips. Slowly find that forward fold again. Stay where it feels comfortable. So just because you can get your head to the mat if you can, doesn't mean that you have to. Every time you move into this pose, sometimes it's just nice to get a little relief into the lower back. You might invite some movement in this time, gently swaying side to side. Just check the shoulders and neck is relaxed. A few more breaths. If your head is on the mat, gently push into the hands, lifting up. If you're holding onto the elbows, gently release the fingertips down as you lift up, push into the feet, coming all the way up to standing, stepping towards the top of the mat. Make sure you've got a bit of space around you, so we might be a little bit more towards the middle of the mat, feet are hip width apart. Big inhale, raise the arms up, exhale, sit down into your chair pose. Sit down a little bit lower. A little bit lower, use your hands if you need to as you sit all the way down and lift the feet up. Notice what's going on in your lower back, so you might need to take the hands behind the knees and drop the feet so they hover above the mat, if it means that you stay more neutral rather than rounding into the back. Focusing on the breath. If you wish to have a go, again you can use the hands. You've got two options which I find can be different with the feet, so you can keep the feet hip width apart, push the hands into the mat, and lift up into your chair, and then we can have a go and lowering back down and lifting the feet into our boat, or sometimes it's easier to cross the ankles and use the outside edge of the feet to step back up into chair pose. Have a couple of goes if it feels accessible and it feels okay to do that in your lower back and your shoulders. Don't worry if you have to use your hands to help get you back up. Finding your way back down if you have lifted up. Bringing the feet onto the mat, wrap the arms around the legs and tuck the chin into the chest. Slowly lifting. So finding your boat, whether you're keeping the feet above the mat so you can release the arms, or you might be able to extend the legs out as you extend the arms, and bringing the hands together, interlace the fingers. So this is our Chinese Angel's Mudra. If you practiced last week, you will know that we've been using this as our letting go mudra. Gently twisting to the right, coming back to centre, twisting to the left, back to centre. Keep it slow. Twisting to the right, back to centre, to the left, back to centre. One more each side. Right, centre, left, back to centre. Place the feet on the mat, wrap the arms around the legs. And slowly releasing. So gently crossing the legs, one leg in front of the other for Sukhasana, easy pose or easy seated pose, and gently finding a forward fold. Pause where you naturally land. So it doesn't matter how far you get, but you just want to be comfortable. So the neck and the shoulders are relaxed, you're not straining, you're not overly pulling into the lower back. You might be using a block, you might be using your hands for support. Really doesn't matter, just allow yourself to release and soften into the pose. Slowly lift it back up. Make a note of which leg you have in front and change the cross of the legs. And again, taking your time, finding your way into that forward fold. Try to not round into the back. So keeping the spine as neutral as you can, using support where you need it, whether that's bending the elbows to lift the hands so you can rest and chill on the hands, or you might be using a block, pillows, cushions, or it might be comfortable to bring the forehead down onto the arms or onto the mat without lifting the hips or the tailbone. And slowly lifting back up and crossing the legs. Keep the knees and feet hip width apart as you find your way down onto your back. Keep a slight tuck of the chin to the chest, allowing the back of your head. Bring the hands down by your side, pushing into the palms. As you inhale, gently lift the hips, the lower back, finding your way into your bridge pose. Again, gently engaging into the glutes. Same as we did in our locust pose, with mirror on the belly. Focusing on the breath. And as you're ready, slowly lowering the back all the way down to the mat. Walking the feet wide, drop the knees together. Just very gently swing the legs side to side. And you might stay here, just allowing the video to finish as you go into your own self-led Savasana, or you might be ready for another practice, so you might click on one of the videos that are linked at the end of the video here. If you haven't subscribed, do click here, and I shall see you next week.